Welcome to Gateway Films News. Hello everyone, I'm your host, and this is Gateway Films News, where we bring you the latest and most amazing stories from around the world and beyond. This episode, we'll talk about the solar activity and how it affects our planet and our lives. Let's get started. The sun is the source of life on Earth, but it can also be a source of trouble. The sun goes through cycles of activity where it produces more or less sunspots, solar flares, and coronal mass ejections. These phenomena can affect the Earth's atmosphere, climate, communications, and power grids. We are currently in solar cycle 25, which began in December 2019. And is expected to peak sometime between 2023 and 2025. However, some scientists think that the peak could come sooner and be stronger than we thought. Why? Because the sun has been showing signs of increased activity lately. For example, on July 2nd, 2023, the sun blasted out a powerful X-class solar flare, which is the strongest type of solar flare that exists. It caused a radio blackout over parts of the US and the Pacific Ocean for about 30 minutes. The solar flare came from a giant sunspot that was 7 times wider than the Earth. Can you imagine how terrifying that must have been for those who are affected? Another sign of increased activity is the number of sunspots. June 2023 marked the highest monthly average for sunspot numbers in 21 years. Sunspots are dark areas on the sun's surface that indicate regions of intense magnetic activity. They can produce solar flares and coronal mass ejections, which are huge eruptions of plasma and magnetic fields that can travel millions of miles per hour. So what does this mean for us? Well, solar activity can have both positive and negative effects on Earth. On the positive side, it can create beautiful auroras, or northern lights in the sky, which are caused by charged particles from the sun interacting with the Earth's magnetic field. They are a sight to behold and a reminder of how wonderful nature can be. On the negative side, however, solar activity can also create geomagnetic storms, which are disturbances in the Earth's magnetic field caused by solar wind or coronal mass ejections. These storms can damage satellites, disrupt GPS signals, interfere with radio communications, and cause power outages. They can also harm living organisms, especially those that rely on magnetic navigation or are exposed to high radiation levels. To protect ourselves from these effects, we need to monitor the sun's activity closely and prepare for possible impacts. We also need to understand how the sun's cycles work and what causes them to change. That's why scientists use models like the World Magnetic Model, which is a representation of the Earth's magnetic field based on data from satellites and observatories around the world. The WMM is updated every 5 years to account for changes in the Earth's magnetic field, which can also be affected by solar activity. The latest update was released in 2020, but it may need to be revised sooner if the sun keeps surprising us. That's all for today's episode of Gateway Films News. I hope you learned something new and enjoyed watching. If you did, please like, share, subscribe to our channel for more interesting stories. Stay tuned for more Gateway Films News. And until then, stay safe and curious.